Lincoln is certainly a product of a racist environment. There's no question. There's a very small minority in the 1830s, 1840s, who believe that there's any possibility of equality between races or any kind of multicultural society ever developing. That's a tiny minority that believes that. It's not to excuse Lincoln to make that point. There were those who did see beyond the issues of the day and who believed there could be equality between men and women, as well as between African and European Americans and Asian Americans. There were those who did see that possibility. But they were a tiny minority, an extreme faction even at that time, and Lincoln was not of that faction. That said, he did not, if he accepted the racial views of the day, he never promoted them. It's very interesting to compare his statements on race compared to those of, say, Stephen Douglas, who is political rival through all his years in Illinois. When they speak at the Lincoln-Douglas debates, Lincoln is sometimes quoted at those debates as having said, "I am opposed to political and social equality." He did say that. But go and look at the paragraph before, when Douglas said, in which he says the Black Republican Party will bring about Negro citizenship, they will bring about political and social equality. I'm against that, Douglas says. I believe this government was made on the white basis. I do not want to include inferior races, and he even named Negroes, Indians, and others. His racism is blatant, is outright, is expressed to the people, and they cheer. They cheer wildly for him because this is the view of most white Illinois residents in the 1850s and for decades before that. Lincoln, on the other hand, stands up and says, now hold on a minute, I didn't say I was for political and social equality, and that's the part you hear quoted when people want to show him as a racist. But then he goes on and says, notwithstanding all that, there's no reason why the Negro is not entitled to all the rights enumerated in the Declaration of Independence, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And in that regard, Lincoln says he is my equal and the equal of Judge Douglas and the equal of every living man. So if you look at the whole context of all of Lincoln's various statements on race, and not just the sound bites that show him as not meeting 21st century standards, you see someone who thinks deeply about the issue, who believes strongly that slavery is wrong, that basic human rights should be universal, should not be denied to African Americans or any other people, and beyond that is not willing to discuss the issue because it's not even on the table politically. He's a lawyer. He speaks in legal terms frequently. At one point, he analyzes the whole basis of slavery. He says, if A can enslave B, why cannot B enslave A? What's the difference? You say it's color? Well, then be careful. You should be a slave to the next man you meet with a fairer skin than your own. You say it's intellect? Well, then you should be a slave to this next person smarter than you, and so on. And he demolishes the logical basis for slavery. And he thinks in these legal, precise terms.